Hello, fellow tacticians. I am here today to bring you a little bit of late news, but the Adeptus Mechanicus is coming to Tacticus. That's a lot of usses to have in one sentence, but here we are, and we're going to be talking about the newest faction to be hitting the game. Now, it's going to be a little opinionated, maybe a little bit of a callback to the state of the game here in a few places, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say it. Now, I'm not going to go too hard, because a lot of the criticisms that I'm going to leverage today, we've already leveraged them and really haven't given people time to go back and do something about some of the issues that we have, but it is an Imperial faction. So that means we've got, 30 Imperials now? We are sitting at 25 Xenos and 15 Chaos. So, yay. But there are some things to hopefully be excited about with this faction and some things to not be excited about. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think the ugly is going to be pretty prevalent here because as cool as the Adeptus Mechanicus is, man, I don't know. I don't find machines very sexy. But let's go ahead and talk about the new damage type first and foremost. It's going to be Toxic. It's going to be a nice whopping 70% pierce ratio, so right below piercing ratio, which I believe is at 80%, and well below psychic, which is 100. We're going to be sitting at 70. Now, like flame and other damage types, it has a little bit of a fancy effect. It has a 25% chance to apply contamination to the target hex. What does contamination do? Funny you ask, it's right here. Contamination units standing on this get negative 30% armor for 1 round. Mechanical and contingents of Nurgle units are not affected. Now, here is something that I am actively advocating for, is please, please, please let this work on bosses. It's not like it would really impact the meta that freaking much because, 30% or 50% of your bosses already would not be affected by this, so Mortarion can't get armor reduction due to him having contagions of Nurgle, and Silent King is mechanical and Gaz is mechanical. So, if you let this impact the Tyranids, I don't see the harm in that. I don't see the harm in that at all, and it would really make this faction feel pretty cool. But before we really start harping into what we think this faction's going to really be looking at, let's take a look at the characters. And first and foremost, we are going to take a look at Magos, Dominus, Vitruvius, Thanek. That is also a mouthful. And he is a legendary character reported to be released as a legendary release event. So, in case you were curious to see who is replacing Jane Czar, I think it's going to be him. Now, this puts a giant question mark on when we're getting more Dark Angels, first and foremost, because this faction's coming out. It also puts a giant question mark on who the legendary, if it even is a legendary Tyranid, will be, or how it will be released. So, a lot of question marks floating in the air because this character is coming to the game, probably in the next legendary release event. We'll see what happens. But he is a mechanical. His melee hit and ranged attacks are very underwhelming, and we have power and molecular both at 1 hit, and the movement is 3. Now, his active ability, and I've kind of truncated all of the different abilities here for the purposes of this video and to kind of keep things condensed, and also because I kind of flew through this. I made it after coming home from work. I'm still wearing my Friday shirt, everybody, so that is what we're dealing with. But it's going to deal 1 toxic damage in a line, dropping contamination. And from what I understand is that this will continue to expand out based on certain actions that occur. I really want to see some footage for this, and now not only do I owe you Ragnar footage, which I can get for you right now, and I need to do, ideally Monday, but I now need to wait for these characters to be implemented inside of the test realm, so I can show you some of that, or wait for some footage that we can go ahead and take a look at. But I'm really interested to see how he kind of manipulates in the game and kind of applies stuff out, so it's going to be interesting. And then his passive Master Annihilator, whenever he hits an enemy, he causes other enemies to have an additional hit against that target. So that's pretty cool. We're finally seeing it's very similar to Marker Light in the way that it works, except for just Tau. It's all other allies now score an additional hit. I'm not sure, just based on, baseline number crunching, how good that's going to be. I'm curious to see if it's going to have any sort of meta-breaking impact. But for a legendary character right now, not seeing anything that really blows me away. And mind you, everything's still subject to change. There's a lot of balancing that could go on. They might even already have bosses allowed to be impacted by the contamination, so we don't know for sure. Now, it is interesting that they came out with this new damage type, and there's only one unit in this list that will be able to deal that damage type, and it's not even one of the actual characters, so we'll continue on. Magos, Dominus, Vitruvius, Thanek, Magos, Dominus, I don't know where we're going to be calling him, just maybe MD, I don't know. That I'm not saying the whole damn name every single time, though, that's for sure. That is for damn sure. But I don't know, if I had to slot him in immediately into a tier, he's going into average, maybe even weak. I really don't see a great use for him. Now, granted, I'm not gonna to beat the same dead horse that I always beat and go, he's looking like he's only gonna be a PvP character, contamination's dog shit for raids, blah, blah. Like, I'm not gonna beat that horse. Now that we have Guild Wars on the horizon, maybe there's gonna be a lot more dynamic uses for these characters. And also, one thing that's been really awesome to see after the Black Templar rework announcement, we're seeing a lot of people playing Black Templars in Tournament Arena. They're getting beat because the changes haven't gone into effect yet, but hey, they're playing them and they're excited about it, so good stuff right there. Well, we'll see how this shapes up. Manipulus, Actus, Folgorosus. Hopefully I said that right. He's going to be a rare character, and he is going to be a hero release event. He's a fat mechanoid boy. I don't even know what's all going on here with his arms and whatnot. I think he's got like one arm that's still human doing, or maybe both of them. He's kind of doing like this kind of deal. But he's going to be a hero release event character. Mechanical flying, obviously. He's not walking with one leg, so he's got two arms and a leg, maybe. And it looks like bro skip every workout day. So he's got melee, energy 2, range 2, and energy 2 hits. He's got a movement of 3. His active ability is Defend the Divine Work, and it's just an AoE repair. So he's going to be the Imperial's way to heal up mechanical units, so cool. Which at the moment is the Adeptus, Mechanicus, and Morvenval. I think that is it. Maybe some synergies here with the Necrons, right? So if he's able to heal them up and do some stuff there, which I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, ultimately, I feel okay with it because of the nature of the game, right? But it seems like we have, like, this desync in how we are kind of coming up with characters and doing stuff. Like, the factions are supposed to have faction identity, but they really don't. And I know I mentioned this in a comment earlier, and tie it to a different gacha game, right? Like, we've got Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, right? Where every single Imperial character comes out and has the Imperial tag for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, right? And then, like, certain units will have direct impacts with Imperial units, and that will do a whole bunch of different things. We're kind of missing that with very few exceptions. We've got the Chaos for Let the Galaxy Burn, which ultimately just ends up feeling bad. We've got the buff on Calgar's passive, which helps Imperial units, but like inner faction, and what I mean by inner faction is like Ultramarines and Adeptus Mechanicus. There's not that much going on, right? There's no benefit to having all 5 Ultramarines in one battle. In fact, it would be pretty jarring because they don't really work together well. But I digress. His passive Galvanic Field repaired units immediately attack anything within range, which is pretty cool. And this can also, he can use his baseline repair on units that are full health. So if it's better for Aleph Null or Makotep to attack somebody, then you can heal them even if they're full health and get that attack off. So yay. Ultimately, right now, he's a mechanical healer, and we really don't have that big of a need for it at the moment. I feel like Aleph Null is just supremely more strong for the game modes that you would bring a left null for, or a mechanical healer for. So average week, I feel like that's almost everything. I'm not seeing anything that blows me away just yet. But my good boy here, Tangita the Skitarii Marshal. We don't know what rarity he's going to be released at. Just based on how cool he is, I'd have to say maybe rare epic. Epic I'm leaning towards. We don't know how he's going to be released. So that's going to be interesting. But he's also a mechanical. He's got physical damage on his melee, which sucks. His range attack does have the toxic. So I stand corrected. I think earlier I said nobody has it except for his summon, which his summon does have it. So you see here on the left, it's going to be Tangita. On the right is actually going to be his Skitarii Vanguard. Now, we don't know his movement, but we do know his active ability, which is really cool. It's Doctrina Imperatives. It's a stance swap, and he can use it every round, which is awesome. I know I've talked about this before with, Thousand Suns. Yeah, it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, we've talked about, reusable abilities with these characters, and I think this is awesome to have, right? We have his defensive stance. It has a fancy name, but I tried to keep it short. It gives everybody around him an armor buff, which is awesome. Now, if he goes to his aggressive stance, extra damage to units with minus armor. So anybody that has reduced armor, the units around him will deal additional damage to them, which synergizes really well with his ranged attack, which applies contamination, or has a chance to. I think it's 25% chance, if I remember correctly. So that will be some synergy there. His passive control edict augments his stances, so he will do an additional effect based on whatever stance he's in whenever he attacks. If he's in his defensive stance, he will summon his Skitarii Vanguard. His Skitarii Vanguard also leaves contamination on the ground whenever it moves, so that's pretty cool. A lot of potential synergy there. And if he's in his aggressive stance, whenever he attacks, any mechanical summons also attack as well. So a lot of synergy there with the Necrons, or maybe a potential another Adeptus Mechanicus summoner that might be coming. I'd hope so. It would be really unfortunate if Tangita's I synergize with myself and the Necrons. It's all right, bro. Missing out a little bit on there. I ultimately feel like this character can be maybe high average, mid strong, just based on initial, looks. Have to see some numbers, see how that all's looking. Once again, a one hit on the ranged attack. You're not looking to really use this for guild raids at all because of the almighty Eldrion. And then also we know that the next raid boss is going to be Imperial. So that's going to feel a little bit bad. Now, the criticisms that I want to leverage, I think, are pretty self-evident. I think the faction's cool. The issue is it's another Imperial faction, and it's not Chaos. For the love of God, please let us change in our orbs, at least in a 2-to-1 ratio, and our badges at a 2-to-1 ratio. Do it Settlers of Catan style, please. I'm swimming in chaos resources that I'm literally just finding an excuse to use. And I'm not even in the worst situation that I've seen. I'm far from it. So, a 2-to-1 system, or make the Forge system better. The fact that it costs the Forge badges, along with gold, along with, 10 material to do something, bloody hell, dude. Bloody hell. I'm almost at the point on my account now where I don't even really have a need for Chaos. Rare badges. Every single character will be fully maxed out on Rare. And then followed by that by Epic. That would be insane to me if I get to that point. Please, 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 let me get some Chaos factions up in here, or rework the economy in some way that doesn't make us, dread getting an Imperial faction, right? We should all be excited, be fuck yeah, this is cool, we got a new Imperial faction. But now we're dude, no, please. No more Xenos, no more Imperial. I really want them, but I don't want them. I don't have any more money. That's the issue that we're running into. But that's not even the worst problem here. The worst problem, and like I said, I'm not going to be too harsh on this because we just talked about it recently. Hopefully, we'll get a little love with the faction after. Yeah, I'm tired of hero release events, man. Like, every now and again, it's cool, but when it's literally how you're releasing most of your factions and characters, it's just like, man, no. Like, I know I talk a lot about the Thousand Suns and how good that felt. Like, really freaking good. Really good. Yeah, we talk about the... Like, look at the Space Wolves, right? Like, that one feels really bad for everybody. But, okay, so we have Arjak Hero Release Event, we have Ulf Hero Release Event, and Tiark Hero Release Event. And I'm getting some freezing on my OBS, I don't know why. We get all three of those as a Hero Release Event, and then we get Niall dropped in the shop, the Rogue Trader, and then we get a Legendary Release Event. That's fine, I'm fine with that. Whatever. It's not really exciting, and I've talked about how I would do it differently if I was king for a day, but, I mean, yeah. And then, looked at Tyranids, right? Battle Pass, okay, that's fine, right? Releasing it via Battle Pass, and I'm not too terribly upset with that, except for the fact that, you know, you don't buy the Battle Pass, you don't buy the character, you never know when you're going to get Deathleaper, right? We never know when that's going to come out to be available somewhere else. So, like, do a little mini event and then toss, like, one of these fuckers in a shop and just let them sit, right? Like, sweet. I'd be fine. My arena shop! Bring out the arena shop. Have us do, like, little hero quests with it and make us, you know, pay the little $20 to get the 90 shards instead of the 15. And then toss one of these bad boys in the shop and then, fuck, like... Give us, like, a one-time cash offer to get a whole bunch of their shards. Like, I don't care. Monetize it however you want. Just not a, oh, you missed out? Okay. Well, I'll never know when this is coming again. So, and, you know, like I said, I'm not going to be too terribly upset with this one. Everything that we've recently talked about was pretty fresh. And it's going to be the next... It's going to be the next faction that I'm going to be really upset with if we repeat history. And honestly, like, if it's 2 in a row, or if you give us one and then you go right back to Hero Release Event, Hero Release Event, Hero Release Event, right? And I'd love to see the financial breakdown of it, to be honest, because let's theoretically take a look at Ahriman, who, yes, I did remember him eventually, so... If you come at me in the comments going, oh, you forgot Ahriman, it's been a long day, all right? It's been a long day. Leave me alone. But, like, let's take a look at Ahriman, right? $65, I believe it was, for him, or like 100 shards of his whenever you complete the campaign. Theoretically, everybody should complete that damn campaign now or very soon, because of, you know, how important the Eldari are. You should probably have it. So, let's theoretically say that, you know, 1,000 people have bought Ahriman. That's $6,500, right? Like, okay, fair. And we're talking about, like, the big boys, right? We're talking about people that love spending money on this game, right? So, let's talk about if you have people going really hard to get a character on a hero release event, right? So theoretically they might buy that, like, energy pass, which it's like $10 or whatever, and then let's theoretically say that they're spending, I don't know, what's a fair number, the 250 refresh, or, you know, let's go hard and say the 500 refresh, right? Like, there's 1,000 people at least doing 500 refresh, right? Like, that sounds fair. So we got $10 a day, and then let's go ahead and take the 500 refresh, which is going to put us at $15 a day, right? And then I think there's 2 chances to do the energy pack, right? So it'd be 20 total for everybody, plus $5 a day for 2 weeks. So 5 times 14 plus 20. right? So just 90 times 1,000, like, you're already making a significant portion more. And, like, I really don't think that that's unfeasible, right? Like, one hero release event, you could be and this is maybe just a small portion of the community. I'd love to do the math breakdown, but, like, that's $90,000 right there for one character, compared to, you know, what, 1,000 people buying, you know, the Ahriman pass, which is still a good chunk of money. One of those feels a lot better for the game than the other one. So now I'm sure that my numbers are just 100% speculative, and I'd love to see the actual breakdowns for it. But man. Now, of course, there's licensing fees, and they have to pay Apple and Google and all that other jazz. Like, I get it, but man, that's... Who wants to start a mobile game with me? Anybody? Mobile game? Let's do it. Unfortunately, like, we can't get the great Warhammer IP. Like, they've got it, but hey. So, yeah, that's the Adeptus Mechanicus. That's kind of what I'm really feeling right now is, you know, I've talked about different pain points that I have and what will really push me over the edge. And also bring me back and make me feel happy, right? Like, next faction comes out, it has a campaign, or next faction comes out and they put them in stores and say, hey, look, like, we're going to have a limited time announcement now on the whatever, we're having a hero release event for him now, and then in 2 weeks, he's going to be in the guild store rotating out with fucking, I don't know, Abaddon, because who actually wants Abaddon, right? And why is Abaddon in the guild store? Period. Somebody explain this one to me. I can get him from the last node of Folgorosus. Not only that, but I can get him in the last node of Folgorosus Elite. I could theoretically get 6 Abaddon shards a day reliably. 3 if I'm not, you know, on a big account, compared to some characters that I can't get at all. We see the problem here. That should be Typhus in there, not Abaddon. Or Rotbone. And what happened to Yarick and Isabella? Why were they pulled out? Cool, you're giving us Jane Czar and Malgan Ra as a way to be like, oh, you missed the legendary release, but that's fine. That's fine. But man! Now, I know I ranted a lot, and, you know, hopefully I didn't scare everybody off, but Chapter Invictus! We want you. We want you. Come join. 20 guilds, 600 members. It really is a great place. You've seen the bot go online on the big boy Discord now. That thing is a phenomenal resource for me and literally other people in top 10 guilds. Like we use that all the time. It's great to plan certain things out. And there's so many other cool tools out there. I know I saw the Tacticus planner.gg just recently. That was really cool. I think somebody has like an app now I gotta check out. But man, like the community, y'all are killing it. Y'all are killing it. Really, truly. That's one of the best things about this game. It's not the actual game itself, which is okay, but it's all y'all. That's why I do what I do still. That's why I have 30-minute videos where I just bullshit. It's not because I like hearing myself talk. It's because I want to express kind of how I'm feeling and how I'm feeling on behalf of all y'all. Because if it was just me, then I'd be like, cool, whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. When I feel like quitting, I'll quit. But man, I want us all to be happy. I want us all to really enjoy it. But with that being said, join Chapter Invictus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please subscribe to the video or to the channel, like the video, that would be awesome. I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. That way I can start doing all that, fun YouTube partnership bull and really get the channel online and then immediately convert all of that into prizes and stuff for y'all. I genuinely don't give a shit about kind of profiting off the channel. I just want to be able to give more cool stuff to y'all. And yes, I am working on the tier list video. I'm telling you, this week has been absolutely mental. I missed video deadlines a lot harder than I wanted to, but we're gonna get back on track with that hopefully next week. I'm gonna have to be in Virginia in like two weeks, like lots of work trips, Lots of stuff that needs to get done. But, as always, here for you. Reach out to me if you need me. Comment down below. I try to answer as many as I can, but I'm getting a lot more than I used to. So, with that being said, everybody, peace, and until next time, I'm looking forward to what comes next.